Hey, best
Hey,
friends. Let's do
we
that again.
are back. Nah, it's fine. We're here. We're here. We made it. And we have a guest today with us,
Yay.
as you see. For any of you who are newer to our show, go back to season two. Season two. I think it's
You
season
know what?
two.
Watch all the seasons.
Go back
All right,
to
listen.
Emily Wilson's episodes. Okay, she has five because the girl had a very long story, but it all couldn't be taken out because
Yes.
it was just that there's just a lot in it. So go back, acquaint yourself with her story because she's here to give us an update now since it's been 18 months.
And
So
Emily,
That's so crazy.
I
if
know.
you can, give us a very quick snapshot of what they would hear in the episodes previous. Just really sum up kind of what they said. Yeah,
Nut
You said,
shell.
I
okay,
know.
take those 5 episodes and make it really small. So
Challenge.
I just go over my life story, I guess. And my life story is long.
Uh-huh.
I've been through a lot of things. I had cancer as a child. My uh, daughter was murdered, actually. And then domestic violence. It's heavy. It has a lot of ins and outs to it.
Yep.
And that was the first time I'd ever shared my story too.
Yeah.
So
Thank
Which
you.
we
that
are
was,
thankful that you felt safe enough to share it here.
Yes.
yeah, it was a lot and it was scary to do, but it was like a pivotal point in my healing journey. I feel like if I hadn't done that, I might be in a different spot that I am right now.
Well, that brings me
Um,
to the question then. What is the biggest change for you since sharing that story?
um, Definitely my healing journey has like completely changed everything for me. It has boosted my confidence to a level that I honestly have dreamed of having for the longest time. I feel like when you think, there's a difference between thinking you have confidence and like thinking you're confident and actually being confident.
That's so true.
I really like that.
There's a huge difference. And I spent years thinking that I was confident when really I was so wrapped up in, what other people thought or what other, that's the main thing is your ego is way bigger than your confidence. And you think your ego will sit there and tell you, yeah, you're so confident when really you're not. And so I had to take that time to really heal a lot of things, a lot of things, as
Yeah.
you heard in those episodes. I'm not 100% healed at all, not
I
even
don't think
close.
anyone is.
Oh,
Um, um, but I've done a lot of healing since then as someone who used to suppress her trauma really bad.
Mhm.
So I just feel like it's just been a huge shift in myself, my growth. And everyone that's close to me sees it. A lot of people, it's crazy the things people notice that I don't even notice the changes in me.
Yes.
Um, and we'll get into it more of what happens when you're on a healing journey.
so here's
um,
here's one follow-up question I have for you with that. Is there, if there is one key thing that you did during this process that really, really cemented, no, I'm doing this for me. It's not for anybody else. I'm fixing me for me. Was there anything that
yeah.
you did? Go ahead.
Um, I guess I just had to really realize that um, my healing journey is my responsibility, and I have to take accountability for how I act and how I do things because of me not healing certain things. My dog is barking. I'm sorry. Can you hear that at all?
A little
A
bit, but
little
it's
bit.
okay.
And really for the
I
Okay,
just
listeners,
that's why
realized,
I
okay,
think
guys.
yeah,
yeah, the headphones should be helping.
for
Um,
the listeners, much like you, Emily has a
Right.
lot of things going on, and this
yeah.
is part of her day. So
Mhm.
we're real raw and unedited here. So keep going. It is fine.
um, what was I saying? Oh, I had to take accountability for my healing journey. I
Yep.
had to take accountability for that because that's no one else's responsibility but mine. I can sit here all day and blame the people that did bad things to me or bad things to people that I love and just sit there and sit. I can just say, I am the way I am, and it's because of other people, and it's their fault and it's not mine. But that's not true. Like I have to do my own healing and do my own like I said, take accountability for those things. And were any of those things my fault? No. But you still have to take accountability for that healing process because hurt people.
Mhm.
And so you have to take that and start to heal or else it can turn really bad. And like I said, I'll get into more of that in the later questions, but I just think that's so important for people to know that if you're scared of healing, a lot of people I know are scared of healing because it's scary when
Yeah.
you've been through a lot of really dark things.
Mhm. Well, I want to ask.
You have
I
to
know
face them.
I know we're jumping off of our questions, but I have a question
No,
really
you're
fast.
fine.
I have a
No, you're
question
fine.
for you, and then we'll get into the next question,
Yeah.
which is after sharing your big story, first time ever, what kind
Yeah.
of emotions followed? Days, weeks, months after?
I like that question a lot.
Because I think a lot of
It
people are
felt like
scared of that feeling. Like, what's going to
it
happen when
was
I
like a
open the doors?
giant weight had been lifted off my shoulders.
Okay.
It was like something that was so heavy that was like sitting on my chest was like taken off.
Mm.
And you think it's so scary to face it and it's so scary to talk about it. And you almost think the opposite's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like everything that I thought was going to happen is the exact opposite of that. All the things I was scared of happening, it was the exact opposite of that. It was like a relief. It was like a relief and a release.
Yeah.
Because then it almost was like I gave myself permission to start the healing process.
Yes.
Ooh.
Like I
almost
had to give myself permission to do that almost.
I love that because I was like, oh man, did it cause like more depression? Did it, because some people might
see, and that's what I thought, but it was a positive thing that I got it out.
Okay.
And some others, like you're saying, like, okay, I've met Randy, your guy. So you could have easily been unhealed and just start bleeding all over and puncturing him.
Oh yeah.
In other situations, I know this is not the case with Randy, but in other situations, people fell in love with the unhealed version of you. So when you're healed, they're like, I don't know you, and actually, I really don't.
Yep.
And we'll get to that. The friends you've had to lose. Well, that's one of the
yes. Absolutely.
Let's get on to the next question, which is, what are you most proud of accomplishing since the last time you were here?
So, in my business, I leveled up to a rank that is pretty high, and I've been wanting to hit it for a long time. It was diamond. But it really wasn't like, oh, I hit diamond. Like it wasn't just like an easy road at all. In order to get to that level, I really had to like make certain things like I had to level up in a lot of spots in my life. And in order to do that, I had to start the healing process. This is all going to go back to the healing process, honestly. Like,
it all comes back to healing.
I had to build a strong confidence. I had to build strong relationships. And I even had to build like more resilience to certain things. I'm a very reactive person. Donna Kyle already knows this. I still am.
So true.
Yeah.
I still am.
You on more than a couple of trips now. Like, oh, Emily's here. Found her.
A lot of energy, okay?
Yes, a lot. I'm just very reactive, even in like negative type of situations. Like, when you talk about losing friends, like I've had people take advantage of the fact that I'm reactive to try to make me look bad. And so I've had to learn, like, I really had to learn how to like chill.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning because it's not easy. I feel like I'm reactive because of how much I've been through and because I have a defense mechanism put up. And so when I feel like someone's crossing me, or not really, shouldn't say crossing because that sounds so like, I don't know, that just sounds like a lot. But just when I feel, manipulated, if I feel like someone I can't trust is doing things, or someone, I feel like I can't trust somebody. Like I immediate defense mode goes on.
Yeah. I'm
also very protective of the people that I love, like very protective. So even if they're going through something with somebody, like I'm like just as much mad at that person as they are.
You'll take up their offense for them if
they
fight for it. Yeah?
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. That's literally me to a T. Like, especially like it's someone that won't stand up for themselves.
Yeah.
Like I want to do it for them. I'm like, but like I've learned to like, I'm learning, shouldn't say I've learned because I definitely haven't gotten all the way, not perfect, but I built up some resilience to that and resilience in general to be stronger and just realize that some people just aren't worth the time or the energy.
Yeah. So I have one follow-up question on that. It's not on your notes, but I think it's great. What do you think in that process, especially with friends and relationships, what was the one key factor or key thing that you changed, adjusted, or learned that made this process a little bit easier or made it easier for you to go, you're negative, I'm cutting ties, and there's nothing else you can do.
I had to learn that not everyone is your friend.
Yep.
Just because they're nice to you, just because they're friendly with you, just because they want to tell you all the things, all the tea, all the drama, all the everything. Yeah. Just because somebody, it's like, it means nothing. Okay. It sounds so deep, but it means nothing. Just because somebody like you, I've learned that relationships are precious, very, very precious. And I have to have some discernment.
Yes.
And discernment is something that I've struggled with too in relationships with people. I've had to lose friends because they were taking advantage of me. And like I said, I'm a very reactive person. And I've had people take advantage of that to try to make me look bad.
I
That's
feel
so
like I'm looking at
calculated.
myself talking 5 years ago because I'm like, that
Yeah.
was me. That is, I have been taken advantage of by so many
Mhm.
friends in quotations over my
Mhm.
life, and he's
Yes.
watched it happen.
Yep.
I am like, I'll just help
Yeah.
you and give my shirt off my back for you, and I will get
I feel like
manipulated.
when you have a good heart, that just happens. Like when you just are genuinely, I
Yep.
don't want to like hype myself up. I'm such a good person. But like,
I
when
want
you
you
have
to
a
talk
are.
yourself up. You
good,
have
Yeah.
done
when
no.
you have,
I'm going to interrupt you. I want you to talk yourself up because you have put in so much work,
Yeah.
so much
yeah,
internal work. And Dawn and I know
mhm,
because we've done that type of internal work how
yeah,
hard, how painful, how deep you have to go to actually make this work. And you were doing it.
mhm,
Yeah.
So I
mhm.
need you to brag on yourself more,
Yes.
I'm gonna do
louder,
it.
longer. Just keep doing it because more people need to know that,
Mhm.
yes, everybody can do this.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes. And you also just like when you go to the next level, not everyone's going to go with you. Not everyone that's in your life at that time is
Yes.
Yes.
coming with you. They will fall, like those people will fall off. And it'll sometimes be people you thought would be with you till the end.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And
Yep.
that is the hardest part. It is
Yep.
people that you thought were going to be your ride or dies forever. And you have to be prepared for that. And I feel like me just like setting out that warning, like this, you know, when you're on a healing journey, you're gonna
Yeah.
lose some people. Like that is the I wish I would have been more prepared for that
Yeah.
because I
I think.
definitely was not.
Yeah. No, you're in the stage that I had to be too to let go of some dead weight, and I'm still in that. I feel like every season I lose another person. I'm like just
Literally,
shedding another person, and
literally. It's
it's
like
okay.
God. I don't know how you feel about God or like
Mhm.
just the universe and God, universe, whatever you believe
Yep.
in, will
Spirituality.
literally pick these people out of your life for a reason.
Yes.
They weren't meant to come with you, so they have to go.
Yep.
And you kind of almost have to find peace in that and almost find I don't know, comfort in that you
Yeah.
know that okay, that person wasn't meant to come to the next level because they were blocking me from
Yes.
getting to the next level.
Exactly. I love
It's
that.
it's not arrogance, it's building a confidence within yourself that really is unaffected by anyone else.
Like, nope,
Children.
it's not for the doggy. You're
Unfocused.
right.
Good morning.
Okay.
Like she handed me something
Hey,
and then she goes like this.
All right. I'm gonna skip next to the revisiting the past topics. We're gonna talk about the past a little bit. Looking back, how do you feel about let me try that again. Looking back, how do you feel about where you were, 18 months ago compared to now?
I'm gonna touch on something real quick that
Oh yeah,
I was
sure.
gonna talk about in the last question.
Oh sure.
But I do feel like this ties it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I feel like 2 years or however years, almost
Yeah.
years
yep.
ago, I was very secure in the fact that my daughter's killer was in prison and that's where he was. And that's where he was going to stay
Yeah.
for the time being.
Yeah.
He's
Sorry, I
actually
didn't
getting
mean
into
to
prison.
skip this part. I totally.
No, you're fine. You're fine. After he only has served 11 years and he gets out in January, end of January.
January
Um,
25.
yes. So I literally, it's okay. We'll get her. So basically I just have to like, I'm telling myself to process the emotions of him getting out right now. Because if I wait till he's actually out, that's not going to be good. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
my when I say process the emotions, I mean how scared I am about it.
Okay.
Like I have to. What's wrong? Okay, her ponytail got caught on her hair. Hold on.
We got mom time. You're good.
She's like, save me. All right, all better. There you go. So basically, like I have to process how scared I am about it instead of pretending that I'm not scared
Mm.
and pretending that it doesn't bother me and pretending that it's not real or it's not going to happen. Because if I sit here and do that, when he actually gets out, I'm going to spiral.
Yeah.
That's not going to
Yeah.
be good. Like I have to process them now. And that's one of the things that I've learned. That's another thing I was going to touch on is I've had to learn to not suppress my trauma and my emotions as they're happening. because I will bury something so deep. I will pretend it's not even happening.
Yeah.
And then it comes out in other ways. Like you cannot just suppress stuff and think that it's not going to come out.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
And
So
it'll come out at the people you love the most,
Yeah.
typically.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely. So him getting out,
what kind of emotions do you have?
part of me is just scared, even though I know he's in Ohio. I know that he can't leave the state without permission. He's not supposed to contact me. All of those things. The only thing that makes me really uneasy is the fact that supposedly, this is a rumor. I don't even know if this is true. He's going to get back with his ex-wife. And his ex-wife literally, it makes no sense. Okay. Like, no sense. This woman called me back in like 2018-ish and was like, oh my God, he's sending me all these super threatening letters in the mail saying that he's going to come find me and kill me and blah, blah, blah. And my son is so scared. First of all, her son is like way too young to even be knowing about any of this. So I'm like, why are you telling him any of this information? Why does he know any of this? That's like so inappropriate.
Another generation of trauma.
People do since the things I've learned about her, and now I'm not surprised. But she literally was like, he's sending me all these threatening things, blah, blah, blah. You want a hot dog?
Yeah. No. I want.
You want chocolate?
No.
Yeah.
What's this in my papa?
Okay, take it. You go play with it. Anyways, so she said she's not hungry and she just wants my headphone thing. Anyways, but so she literally said that he was sending these threatening letters, right? So I'm talking to somebody else. This is while I was in hair school. And the girl that I was talking to was like, they check letters. Like, you can't just be sending out threatening letters like that. She's lying to you. Like, there's some reason why she's on the phone with you, trying to get you. I don't know, she's trying to get you to say something. There's nothing to say. I don't know what she wanted. Yeah. But the crazy part is she didn't know about the 911 tape. And on the 911 call, he said he had to jiggle her to get her to stop crying.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he refused to do a lie detector test. She didn't know either of those things. Once I told her those two things, she left me alone. So I'm like, what did you want from me? What were you trying to get? And she's all, he's trying to get out early. You should call and see if he can get out early. Or not, he can get out early. But that's what I think that she was trying to do, was trying to get information through me. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
And he had a domestic dispute with her that was brought down to disorderly conduct. So it was supposed to be a domestic violence charge, but it got brought down. So they already have a terrible history. I didn't, in no way, shape, or form, thought she would ever get back with him. But this is the rumor that's going to happen. And I'm like, what kind of narrative? Because she's crazy. So I'm like, I don't know what kind of narrative y'all are going to try and play. Are you going to play the he's innocent, he never did anything hard? Are you going to be like, what? That's what makes me nervous. Like, I don't want any of that. Like,
you want this to
and leave me alone. Like, I don't want anything to do with any of that.
Yeah.
No.
I think
like
over these last few months, though, the fear that you have is fear for 2 years ago, Emily, who wasn't able to defend herself, stand up for herself, speak for herself, or do anything. And I can't see that any of the scenarios that you have playing in your head are ever going to happen because you're too strong for that to happen.
You're too healed for that.
Yes. So, I mean,
well, it's just the fact that like I'm like, do I need to get like a self-defense, something for self-defense, blah, blah. But then I think again, this wasn't a premeditated.
Right.
It was a violent act, but it was not something that was premeditated. I said this the other day. I said, he is not a violent person. He is somebody who gets violent when he has certain emotions.
Yeah.
Like, it's like on, like, in a second, he can flip, but it's not like he premeditates this violence.
So it's not like he's like sitting over there getting ready to kill his next victim.
Yes. Yeah. And so, like, I also have to, like, excuse me, but like, he's kind of a pussy. Like, I'm really not scared. Like, I'm like, I have to, like, I'm scared, but at the same time, I'm like, girl, get it. Like, you know,
so what you're doing now, what you're doing now is you have the tools to calm yourself
to rationalize.
Exactly.
Rationalize.
Whereas 2 years ago, Emily may not have had these tools.
No, I would have just spiraled and been like, oh my God, the world is ending.
That right
like,
there is a huge accomplishment. I hope you're giving yourself a huge pat on the back for that. Because
that's what really just, it's the fact of him getting out and the fact of just what happens once he gets out?
Right.
Does he get out and I still have the same? I mean, I'm never going to have 100% peace, but like
Right.
what I'm saying is the type of peace I have while he is in prison, is it going to be the same once he's out? And that's all I want.
Yeah. I think you
I
have
mean,
to
he's
do.
not allowed to contact me. He's not allowed to even like, I don't want him like getting on social media like, oh, I didn't do this, but I was
Right.
falsely
Yeah.
accused. But like, shut up. Like, I don't want none of that. Because you know
Yeah.
damn well
For
what
your
you did.
sake, I really do hope that he just drops it and goes away and never.
Yeah.
I mean, because why prolong this at all for him too?
And I
Like,
don't, and honestly, I think that he's just going to get out and try to keep this clean, try to keep this
I mean, I
clean
would if I were him. I would just be like,
reputation about
never
himself,
happened.
you know,
Yeah.
like just make people think that,
Yeah.
you
If he
know,
starts
the
coming after
best of
you,
them that they possibly can. If he was smart,
if
that's
he
what
was
he would
if
do.
he was stupid, he would come
I'm
after
gonna
you and do more. Like that would be
That's
the
what I'm saying.
dumbest thing.
I'm like,
And he
but
was
I'm
a
like,
cop.
do I
So,
really? No, he was not a cop. My
oh, he's
other
not the
ex was a
cop.
the
cop.
other.
Sorry, the other one.
Mm-mm. That was the other one.
I'm gonna play positive Patty here
Yeah.
and say one piece. None of us on here, except for me right now thinking about it, have thought whether he could heal in prison while he was there.
Yeah.
Much like you, Emily, there could be a completely
Mhm.
different person that's coming out of the
It's
institution.
true.
It may not be.
Yeah.
We're not going to give him grace because he's a
But-
jerk. But
I'm saying,
No, but I still like, I have to genuinely hope that that's what happened, because
Yeah.
that's the best case scenario. You
Yeah.
have to. It'd be dumb for me to sit here and be like, I hope he still sucks.
yeah,
Like,
no.
like no,
No.
you want him to become better so he doesn't hurt. Like in my head, I'm thinking like, I don't want him to get out and then do this to
this
somebody
again.
else.
Yeah. Yep.
Whether it's the same, I don't know. He has a history of violence, so I'm just
Yeah.
saying, would the 11 years just take him and heal him, and he's never going to put a hand on anybody ever again?
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
I hope so. Yeah.
I'm not going to say, why would I sit here and be like, oh, I hope he does this again? No.
I don't wish him any. Whatever. What's one of the things?
All right, we're gonna move on to something now. All right.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
That was
Yeah.
the big.
No.
That was the big mic drop she wanted to tell us, because like she texted me like a week ago and said he's getting out, and I was like, tell me more. And she's like, no, I will wait.
Yeah, I said, I'm going to wait,
live.
and I'll tell you. I'll tell you
Okay.
later.
So now we're gonna
What's
talk
that?
back to that question I originally asked. Looking back, how do you feel about where you were a couple years ago compared to now?
I honestly wonder how I even like made it through life. Like, honestly though, I don't know how I was such in survival mode that I'm like, how were you even functioning? Like
Yeah.
coasting through life.
Yeah.
They say like, ever had like a spiritual awakening? That's what I feel like I had. And
Mhm.
before,
Mhm.
it was just like literally just coasting through life. And I'm like, what? Like, and there's parts of my life that, and it's sad, but there's parts of like, Wrigley, my 6-year-old's, when she was really little, there's like parts that I just don't remember,
Mm.
because it was just like me just trying to survive day by day.
Because you're
Yeah.
in trauma mode.
Yeah.
Survival.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, so part of me feels, and I feel sad for that.
Yeah.
It makes me feel sad for my past self, that's instead of me, taking accountability for my healing journey, I ignored it instead.
But can you also give yourself grace because you didn't have those tools back
Yeah.
then? Like, looking at your
Yeah,
younger
I mean,
self.
now like I have like this a strong sense of self, and I have like this awakening, so like I feel super strong. And like in my answer, I was saying how I feel untouchable. I don't want to feel like I'm untouchable, like, and nobody can no, but like literally I feel like have a strong sense of self that like nobody can make me feel inferior, because I get to choose how I get to feel.
Yes.
Nobody gets to choose how I get to feel.
Yes, I love that. There's other things. What's one thing you've learned that you wish you'd known back then? Like we talked about just now, you have to give grace to your past self
Mhm.
because you didn't have the tools you have now. So what's
Absolutely.
one thing you learned that you wish you'd known back
I learned that the more unwilling you are to heal, the farther you are from your most authentic self. So your authentic self is your happiest self. And if you're not healed or healing, there's absolutely no way you can reach that point.
Yeah.
And unwilling to heal creates a very chaotic mind.
Okay.
So suppressing trauma, so you're pushing it down,
Yep.
plus a chaotic mind on top of that, that's literally a recipe for disaster. Like you cannot, that's why I was in survival mode 24/7.
Yep.
Because I was trying to ignore it. My body was literally fighting to ignore it because it has to come out in some way or another. Whether you're doing it in the mind, it'll come out in aggression. It can come out aggression, which I'm not. I'm just saying in general. In a healing journey, it can come out with anger. It can come out with sadness, and come out depression, anxiety. I had horrible depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
Debilitating depression and anxiety. Now I'm to the point where I still have depression and anxiety, but it's just not nearly as bad.
Yeah.
Like
So much so
not even close.
What's happening in a couple of months with your lack of anxiety? You're going to stand in front of a room of maybe 500 to 1,000 people and tell your story.
Yeah.
I think she's on a panel.
She's speaking. Oh, well, I'm sorry.
She's standing on stages now, yo.
That.
Yeah, you should manifest that because I'm surprised I haven't picked me, but it's fine.
She's like, I have a story. Let me tell it.
I have a story.
Can you tell it in 5 minutes? So I don't think so. That's the problem.
I don't. That would be like, okay, so what is fun?
She's gonna have the whole
chapter
thing.
1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4.
Back on Sunday. Emily's back.
She's back for her third
Yeah. Oh my god. The next day.
I'm gonna surprise you with one bonus question, especially for the listeners. And that is because there might be somebody that is in a similar situation to you or feeling similar to you. So I want to know what your step 1 was. What was
step
the
1?
first thing?
Step 1 for what?
When you hit the point, that wall, and you say, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not taking shit.
Telling my story with you guys was literally it. That was literally it. I had to get it out. I replayed it in my mind over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But to actually sit down and talk about it on a platform where other people can also hear your story and validation, I don't need validation, but it sure does feel good when you get it. Okay.
Right.
Validation feels good. Okay. We're not gonna lie here.
Yeah.
Don't need it. No, but validation feels good. So when I have people hear my story and they're like, because part of me is like, it wasn't really that bad. Was it really that bad?
Right. You rationalize it. Yeah.
So then when people are like, yeah, girl, that was bad. And you're like, okay. All right. Like, I'm not crazy.
It should make you give yourself way more of like a high five. Like, holy shit, girl, look what we survived.
Like I did this. Yes, absolutely.
If it were me, I would be looking in the mirror every morning and be like, I'm the baddest bitch around. You understand what I lived through and come out on the other side, and I've got a smile, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
try
But the other thing is that you cannot move forward in your life unless you take care of the past stuff. You cannot, there's no physical way. You cannot do it. So if you are anything like me and you are suppressing your traumas, I promise you, life is going to be so much easier and better for you if you just start that process. Whatever you need to do to start it. And honestly, it's probably the one thing you need to do is probably the scariest thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to tell my story on a platform, but I didn't have to. You guys didn't make me. But that was the scariest step. So sometimes the scariest step is the best step that you can take.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to do that. And that is like going to be your pivotal point. Because if you're not willing to, like I said, your healing self is your most authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are not yourself if you are sitting here like literally drowning in trauma. That's not you.
Right.
That's your past speaking for you.
Yep.
No, you literally, it's impossible. You can't.
So for somebody listening to this who is, I mean, they're at step 1. They're like, what the heck do I do? Here's number 1. I'm going to say to anybody who's listening, you have a platform right here. We want to hear everybody's story. Yeah. Like if you have a story and you want to heal and you want a place to tell it, guess what? You can write us and we will let you on our show. Okay. But let's say someone doesn't want to get on a public forum. What would you say they should do?
Get a therapist.
There you go.
Thank you.
I was like, I hope she says therapy.
For saying that.
Tell your therapist.
Go talk to somebody. Like even
tell your best friend. There's a lot
of people that say, well, therapy costs money, and I don't have like I get that. So if they can't go to therapy, well, you have a trusted friend.
Yes.
You have a
some
parent,
their pastors.
a mentor,
Take your phone and record yourself telling your story
There you go.
out loud.
Record yourself telling it.
This is the difference. Okay. You can replay it in your mind over and over and over again, but you need to say your story out loud.
Why?
Out of your mouth.
Tell us the difference. Why should someone do that versus just like writing it down in a note?
Because, well, even just not even writing it down. I'm talking just like replaying the story in your head versus saying it out loud.
Yeah.
The reason why is because when you already feel trapped in your own mind. You already feel trapped because you're suppressing your trauma. So you're already trapped. So why are you telling the story in the same exact spot that you are trapped? You have to get it out.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Yeah.
Out and open. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yes. That's why we're both just like, yeah, that's pretty much it.
I want to say this, and I've probably said it 3 or 4 times on this. I'm so freaking proud of you and the work.
I just feel like it's the craziest thing to me because sometimes I say things and I'm like,
damn, that's
right. Like our CEO Travis, our CEO Travis, you know how he's always like, I feel like stuff comes to me and I say it and then I'm like, damn, that's good. And I'm like, yeah, me too.
Yes, and I
understand it now.
I started to embrace that confidence, and same thing. Like I would surprise myself. I'd get off a training and I'm like, damn, that was good.
Like that's fire. Yeah.
But that's finding your confidence within and being secure in yourself to know that, like, if I screw up, nobody's going to care. I don't care. Like, it's just.
Yes. So many people. Okay, listen, I used to be like so wrapped up in what people thought of me, what society thought of me. I wanted pink hair for the longest time. For the longest time. And I finally just said, screw it. I'm going to do it. Now I have pink hair and I have a hand tattoo. Okay. So like I kind of did 2 things that are like very not seen as normal. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to do them and that's what I wanted. And I had people tell me, well, you kind of changed. Okay. I have pink hair and a hand tat. If that is a problem for you, I don't know what to tell you.
But the people that are like, ooh, you're changing. Those are the people that are going to fall off typically because they're literally not willing to change. They're the ones that are stuck. And then also, people get jealous of you when you start to embrace who you are, because when you embrace who you are happier. When you become your authentic self, you are happier. And it will show them that they're not.
And people get pissed. Okay? They get mad about it. They don't like it because they want you to be in the same spot that they are, which is stuck. Mm-hmm. They bonded. It's like a trauma bond. You're literally bonding with somebody over the fact that you're both stuck. And when they refuse to move and you move, it scares the living shit out of them and it makes them mad because like that's not, I thought we were going to stay here forever. No, girl, we got to move. We got to go. Either you're coming with me or you're bye. Like I just don't
the biggest thing you're going to learn when you heal is the people
and
falling
a
off.
lot of times people will stop their own healing journey because they feel guilty about leaving people behind.
Yep.
You cannot feel guilty.
No,
you will stay stuck forever if you like you're literally embracing other people's emotions and other people's stop allowing other people's opinions, other people's emotions, other people's I feel like to a certain extent you should care a little bit what people think. Like don't be going out and doing some crazy shit. Okay.
A little bit.
Common sense, you care a little bit. But
yes, exactly.
To a certain extent. But other than that, you cannot allow these people to hold you back because you're never, ever going to make it to the next level if you do not let them drop off like flies. Yep. And I'm telling you, it sucks. Okay.
And not everybody can go out there. Okay. Not everybody can go where you're going.
No, the last person I lost, I felt so guilty about it. I cried. I'm not a crier at all. Yeah. And I cried about it. I was like, should I feel guilty about this? Because I basically exposed this person for who they are.
Yeah.
Should I feel guilty for that? Is that my fault? No.
We happen to know who the person is that she's talking about. So we're like, no.
They are responsible for their own actions.
Yeah.
And I am not responsible for raising other people. Okay. I'm not going to raise you and help you get to the same, it's not my responsibility to get you to the same frequency as me. That's not, girl, you're on your own. You got to figure that out. And if you're not coming with me or you're causing low vibrations in my circle, me and my friends consistently, at some point you have to find a common denominator.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Like, you can't just sit around and just be like, oh yeah, you're the victim again
Yep.
and again and
Yep.
again and again.
This story sucks.
This is what I'm saying when
Yeah.
I'm saying
Yeah.
you have to take responsibility for your own healing journey, because staying the victim is not worth it.
Right.
I am
It
not a
doesn't
victim.
work.
I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. I'm not a
Yes.
victim anymore. I
Yes,
was a
ma'am.
victim for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
I stayed in that victim mindset forever.
Yep.
Forever. And I finally was like, no, we're done. Like, we're not doing this anymore. I can't do this anymore. At some point, you're going to get sick of your own shit.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to be like, I cannot do this anymore. I have to go to that next level, or else I'm not going to make it. And you know what happens to the people who don't do that? They have next to no friends. They are currently, they are constantly cycling out friends because they can't keep any.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a lonely, lonely life to live.
They're usually physically sick too. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Yes,
Because
yes,
they are
typically-
holding that trauma in and
Yes,
making
Your
themselves
body's
Yes,
gonna
a
get
lot of
sick.
times trauma will come out in like autoimmune diseases.
Mhm.
It comes out in all sorts of different ways.
Yep.
And you can sit there all day and be like, well, it's because I went through this when I was 5 years old, and it's been like that. Girl, what?
Like, you have to
no,
process it
like,
and
you're
heal it.
worthy.
process
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
we can't. And if you can't do that work, you're not coming with me.
I will say this, and then we'll close with.
You're not invited.
Yeah. You're not invited. I like that.
You're not invited.
I'll say this. I think healing is the ultimate form of self-respect,
Yeah.
because you are
Yes.
going into the parts that you won't tell anybody, and
Yeah.
then you're going to clean it up.
Mhm.
Now,
But you
last
also
thing-
have to take responsibility for your own shit. Like I said,
Yes.
like, you have to sit there and be like, okay, I'm a shitty person when I do this, and I do this because of this that happened to me, and it's a trauma response.
Mhm.
You have to take responsibility that you did something bad, either did something bad or you act a certain way because of, it's either in your behavior or your actions. It's one of the two.
I will
When
say
you
that
have
I will
trauma-
agree with you that when you're going through the healing, you can't just be like pointing at every single person
Yeah.
who did something to you. A lot of the time, you got to go.
No, you have to point back at
okay,
yourself.
what did I do? Where did I screw up? Where
Because
can
what
I
is
heal?
pointing at them does nothing. They got their own healing journey they
Yeah,
got to go on.
yeah.
Okay, pointing at somebody else does nothing.
Pointing at them
Does
is why
nothing-
you're not
does
healed
nothing
right
for you.
now. You have to stop
No.
pointing to heal. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. That's a good one. You got to
Okay.
stop pointing fingers when you heal. Absolutely.
Yes.
When you're healing, you can't do that.
All right. We're going to leave this. Okay. I want you to just leave any little last nugget. Oh,
I
did
don't
you
know
have
if
a
you're close to-
question?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, do you have any little last kind of nuggets or thoughts for our listener? I know I just put you on the spot.
Yeah.
If somebody's out there listening, they heard your whole story, now they've heard this, they're like, man, I wish I was brave.
Now what do I do?
What do I do?
Just start. Like, it sounds, it's so dumb. It's so dumb and so cheesy to be like,
Not
just
so
start.
real.
Just start your healing journey. No, do the hard, like I said earlier. Usually the scariest thing is the number one thing that you have to do. Like I said, telling my story was what I needed to do, and I was so scared of it for so long, so I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. However, I do feel like it happened in the way that it was supposed to happen, because I feel like God put you guys in my life for that reason,
Yes.
to be able to tell my story in the platform and in the way I did it in the right way. Because there's
Yeah.
so many ways I could have done it.
Yes.
Yes.
Could have wrote a book. I could have did a 50-part series, a 20,000
You
part
could have
series. on
you could have
TikTok.
thrown out some shade on this guy publicly.
That's the other thing too. I
Yeah,
really-
there are so many ways I could have done it,
Yeah.
but it happened in the way it needed to happen. But I need you to know that you will not be your most authentic, happy self, which is ultimately should be the goal.
Yeah. That's all everybody's
unless
goal.
you start, unless you start your healing journey. And you can lie to yourself all day long and tell yourself, I'm happy, I don't need to heal. Okay. All right. You keep
Everybody
telling
You
yourself.
said it's the
That's-
teaser.
You keep telling yourself that, sister.
Okay, but
But
Everybody can heal from something. I
yeah. And I'm telling you, it is the most freeing feeling on freaking earth to let that shit go.
I
I'm
want
not
to
saying you, and here's what I'm saying. Let me say this too. I'm not saying healing means getting over it. You will never get
No.
over it. I will never get over the fact that my daughter was murdered. I will never get over the fact that I was sexually abused. I will never get over the fact that part of my childhood was taken away because I had cancer. you don't get over that. You don't get over it, but you move past it.
Yes. You don't let it hold you in a place anymore.
Yes, you have to move forward. You have to, because if you can't let that stuff hold you back. And then, like I said, you don't have to get over it. I'm not saying you never get over that stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am
Another thing that's incredibly hard is forgiveness.
Yes.
That is one thing I'm
okay.
struggling with now.
I was gonna say,
That's a
have you
question.
forgiven?
Do you forgive, James?
My ex that sexually abused me, yeah, that was easy. Bye. Like,
Yeah, I get
forgive
it.
it. I wouldn't mind an apology from him. I never got one. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind one. But whatever. That's besides the point. But when it comes to, I don't think
That's a hard one.
forgiving.
I don't blame you for not wanting to, because holy shit.
I know I have to eventually, but I'm not there.
And that's okay.
And I think the number one reason why I'm not there is because he has never, from what I know, he has never fully admitted to what he's done.
Right. Didn't take accountability. Yeah.
No, I mean, he tried to get out. I also got a phone call that he was trying to get out of prison early, like a year or two ago. And they asked me, they were like, "Hey, like, what do you think about this? Like, if he wanted to get out early, we need to know your opinion." I'm like, he hasn't even admitted to what he's done. Why
You
would he?
killed
Why
the
should he
baby.
get out?
What do
Yeah,
you
like,
think,
why?
guys?
Maybe if he was
Gotta be a no
remorseful,
for me,
maybe.
dog.
Lord.
Yeah, maybe if he was remorseful and said, "Hey, like, I did this, I lost my shit, and it happened," that would be one thing. But he hasn't even done that, so I can't even get to that step.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even get to the maybe. It's a definite no.
Yeah. So take your first step is what she's saying. Learn to start forgiving
Yes.
yourself and others from your past.
And just know that in your healing journey, when it comes to the forgiving part, that might take a while, and that is okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone-
That's honestly probably one of the last steps in the whole process.
Probably.
Yes.
Is the forgiving part.
I want to say this. I've said this many, many times, and just to close it out, I am so thankful that you chose us to give out the story. I'm thankful that you've put in all of the work to be able to do this. If people want to and they want to follow you and they want to get more of your story, you're on socials. Do you have your?
Yes.
I'll put it all in the show notes.
It'll all be in
TikTok.
the show notes.
She's all over. She's everywhere.
Yeah, I'm all over. Make sure you put my good TikTok on there because I got like 20.
You're good. I know. I've got like 3.
My good one.
Emily, we are so thankful for you. We're so proud of you. Thank you for coming back and sharing a little more.
Thank
and
you.
Maybe we'll have you back on in another year and a half.
Yeah.
You're taking over the world.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I can. You're so powerful.
I'll be a millionaire by then.
Girl, we're all gonna be millionaires next year. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. We're gonna go.
I'm here for it.
Bye, buddy.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Bye, buddy.
Bye, buddy.
All right. Let me stop recording.
Stop the recording.
Where is the recording?
Ow!
No, that'll leave.
Fuck!
You hit your knee.
Bye. Stop.
What do you